Now on News 3 at 4, jet crash. 2 dead, and News 3 knows who owns that aircraft.
A police dog shot, and a Las Vegas woman says there is more to the story. It's a News 3 exclusive.
You need glasses to see the sun fade to black. Some special ones, but good luck finding them. News 3 at 4 starts right now. What a way to end the week. 2 major breaking stories this afternoon, one from the sky, one on the ground. On the ground, a major gravel spill snarling your afternoon drive time.
News 3's Tom Hawley is over the 95 near Washington. So Tom, tell us, what is the backup?
Well, we have thousands and thousands of motorists who are very unhappy right now, trying to make their homeward commute on a Friday. And look at this, narrows from 5 lanes down to 1. And that's actually a big improvement. For more than half an hour, the freeway was completely closed. What this is a Nevada ready-mix cement truck, and it lost half its load. And it didn't lose it all in one place. Look at the lines here. You see that white stripe here? Apparently, it was trailing out the back for about a half a mile or so, all the way from the Vegas Drive overpass to here at the Lake Mead Boulevard interchange. The closure is back by the Washington overpass, and they're still working on the cleanup, so you've still got a couple of lanes that are blocked on the right side, but it's a single line snaking through. So this backup now goes all the way around the Rainbow Curve, and it goes all the way back to about Decatur. So that is thousands and thousands of motorists, and it's going to take at least another hour before things clear up, because they still have lanes blocked. Even once the lanes reopen, it'll take a long time to clear that queue. So trouble on the outbound 95, probably want to use a surface street at like Rancho up to Lake Mead, then re-enter the freeway there. Marie and Reed.
All right, Tom, thank you. Our other major story, a jet crash in the desert.
2 people dead, and the FAA and coroner are on the scene. It happened just to the west of the Boulder Airport in heavy winds. I flew over that crash site, and you can see the jet landed mostly intact there on the ground, right there on its belly. From the sky, you can see signs that some sort of a fire happened, or maybe even an explosion at the back end of that plane, and a lot of fuel loss. Now, let's take a look. This is an image of the type of plane we're talking about. In fact, this is the plane prior to its crash. It's a checkmate aircraft called an Aero L-39. News 3's Marissa Mike joins us live near the crash site. And Marissa, what can you tell us there on the ground?
Well, the National Transportation Safety Board and the Clark County Coroner are here. They are investigating. I had a chance to speak with Boulder City Police Chief Thomas Finn. He says the jet was taking off from Boulder City Airport, not arriving. He says he's also a pilot, and he says what planes will usually do is they'll take off from Boulder City Airport, they will head toward the mountains, and then they will veer in the direction of the destination that they are going. But the jet, a Cold War era training jet, went down, and now it is down that road about a mile. It is still positioned toward the mountains. A witness who spoke to police said the jet appeared to lose power. Finn says somehow the pilot was able to avoid the power lines before the jet plummeted to the ground.
It pancaked into the desert, apparently came in flat into the desert. It's pretty much intact. It's so far out in the desert, and without a 4-wheel drive, there's no way you'll make it out there. So we had to wait for our 4-wheel drive to get here. And we have an ATV also that assisted us in getting out there.
Finn says a small fire started in the back of the plane near the engine, but it did not spread to the plane's cabin. As he mentioned, emergency crews faced plenty of dirt roads out here. They needed that 4-wheel drive to get out to the middle of the desert where that plane is still at. Now, as I mentioned, the investigation into what caused this crash, it's going to be a long time before we know what actually caused it. But, you know, it is very windy out here, and so that may have played a role, but at this point we do not know. A preliminary report will come out in about a week. For now, we are live in Boulder City. I'm Marissa Mike, News 3.
Marissa, thank you. News 3 learning more about those killed in today's jet crash.
I spoke by phone to a woman who knows the pilot and the passenger, and who also knows the owner of this jet. The owner is Walt Waltos. He's chairman and CEO of Simulations Plus out of Lancaster, California. Mr. Waltos was not on the jet, but his 2 friends were. He got word of this crash while traveling in Japan. Here's my conversation with his assistant just moments ago.
What are you guys hearing, if anything?
Probably as much as you've heard. He has been informed of the crash. He's actually in Japan right now, and he was contacted and informed of the crash. I know he is acquainted with the pilots, and they were very, very close friends, extremely experienced, and so Walt is bewildered and just trying to process it himself. So.
And far away from the situation.
And unfortunately, way too far away from the situation. I wish we had more to tell you. The only thing I can say is that Walt Waltos is fine. He was not flying the L-39, although he is heartbroken over this development. One of the pilots who was in the plane, extremely experienced, Walt has known for, well, I'm quite certain it's been at least 5 years, and in fact is thoroughly acquainted with the L-39 aircraft. Mm-hmm. He knows them very, very well. It's very small and close-knit, and this is an extremely painful experience.
All right, so that's the personal angle to this. The big question now, the technical angle, how did this type of jet go down?
We want to bring in Ian Greger of the FAA for his perspective. Ian, tell us what your investigators will be looking for.
Well, we have 3 investigators out there right now. We work very closely with the National Transportation Safety Board, which is the lead investigative agency, and pretty much look at everything that could be a possible factor. Start with a quick examination of the wreckage at the site, talk to some witnesses, review any radar data that might be available. That's just in general, not necessarily in this case. Then the wreckage will be taken to a storage hangar somewhere where the FAA and NTSB inspectors will do a more thorough teardown of it to really start with the process of elimination and try to find out what went wrong.
Ian, you know, anybody who goes up in the sky knows you can't go 5 feet in the sky without some sort of communications with the ground. The pilot, what kind of communications was he putting out there? And did those communications alert of anything going wrong?
Well, I don't believe the Boulder City has an air traffic control tower. It's an uncontrolled airport, I think. So when you're flying out of an uncontrolled airport, you are flying without talking to air traffic control.
Wow, that's pretty profound. So they're flying a jet out of a place where there's no communication. Very interesting. That'll be something we'll be following up on News 3. Tell me more what you're hearing about the victims and notifying family members.
I don't know anything about the identity of the people that were on board. Typically, it's the coroner that has to make those identifications.
Going back to the investigation for a moment, Ian, we're looking at pictures now, and it appears that there was a fire here, and the fire destroyed what looks like the front part of the plane, also the back. Tell me, how would that affect the investigation?
You know, the NTSB is the lead. They also, we have engine, sometimes engine and aircraft manufacturers involved as well, and they do an absolutely superb job of determining what caused an accident. I mean, you look at some of the large, some of the wrecks, commercial wrecks that have occurred over the years where there's really very, very little left of an aircraft, and they're still able to determine what went wrong.
All right, Ian Greger of the FAA, and we want to put a word out to our viewers. If you recognize this plane having gone down and you have any connection to the people who may have been involved in the crash, we'd love to talk to you to get the personal angle of the story. Ian, thank you so much. Moving on to other news this afternoon, the pedestrian killed in a hit-and-run Tuesday night was a teenager. The coroner's office says he is 17-year-old Brian Navarro of Las Vegas. Investigators say he was jaywalking near Flamingo and Nellis when he was hit. Police say the driver, Thomas Del Angel, was under the influence at the time of that terrible crash. You see right there, investigators were out in the night with the cones, and they are not leaving any stone unturned in this case. Once again, the pedestrian hit and killed in the hit-and-run accident Tuesday night was a 17-year-old Brian Navarro of Las Vegas. Marie?
Reed Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson issues 3 more rulings on officer-involved shootings. Wolfson says Metro officers acted lawfully in all 3 cases. On March 8, 2011, police say Mauricio Hernandez shot someone near Lake Mead and Lamb, then went into a nearby bar on Nellis. The DA's office has provided us with this picture showing Hernandez pointing a gun at an officer. That officer shot and killed Hernandez. The 2 other incidents were from February of last year. On February 15th, police shot Torrey Manvilla after he forced his way into a home near Mountain Vista and Hacienda. Then on February 23rd, Metro officers shot Jaime Padilla during a standoff. Wolfson's reviews, I should say, are separate from coroner's inquests, which are currently on hold pending legal review. These 3 cases are among the backlog of 19 incidents to be reviewed at an inquest. The new DA has released his assessment of 7 officer-involved shootings. In all the cases, Wolfson found that officers were justified in shooting their suspects. Another arrest related to an alleged clip joint where a British tourist was stabbed last weekend. You're looking at the owner of the Red Devil Spa, Kenneth Stimson, taken into custody last night for racketeering, obtaining money under false pretenses, conspiracy, and multiple transactions involving fraud and deceit. This is the latest arrest after police say a bouncer stabbed tourist Joseph Sheriff at the spa near Spring Mountain and Polaris. Sheriff hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. His attacker still on the run. Earlier this week, police arrested Brooke Dugan, Hope Tello, Laisha Godfrey, Nicole Kramer, Christine Hall, and James Watkins for racketeering, obtaining money under false pretenses, and conspiracy to commit racketeering. They're accused of participating in the scam, in which tourists were lured to the business with the promise of sex for money. Police say the money was given, but nothing was given in return. Stimson's first court appearance is scheduled for May 19th.
The Nevada State Prison locked up and lonely now after 150 years of operation. The last inmates moved out in January, and Governor Brian Sandoval spoke at the decommissioning ceremony held on prison grounds in Carson City today. A bit of history for you in this case. The prison houses Nevada's execution chamber, though there are no imminent executions scheduled. Well, why the closure? Bringing the aging building up to code, we are told, would have cost taxpayers up to $30 million. A Metro canine shot during a chaotic chase on Monday, still in critical condition. Marco the dog shot by another officer after the canine bit that officer. But one woman who lives in the neighborhood where all of this went down says there's another angle to this story that is not being told. News 3's Denise Roche has her perspective on why this woman says she's a victim too.
Yeah, Reed, this started with police chasing a man with a knife. Eventually, that suspect ran into Christina Schneider's home to try to get away. Now she wants to press charges. This is the person Metro arrested on Monday, 18-year-old Wynn Hooker. He was booked on charges of obstructing a police officer and resisting. But Schneider says, what about what happened to her? She says Hooker jumped her back wall and walked into her home through an unlocked back door. He ran out when Schneider's husband began yelling for police. Now she feels Hooker isn't being held accountable.
Basically said I couldn't press charges because he didn't actually break a window or kick in a door. And that's when I thought to myself, okay, so if I'm walking down the street on a hot day, I can just walk into any open door and cool off. The dog being shot was a major event. But at the same time, we're victims too.
Now, according to a Metro spokesperson, officers did talk to the DA's office about this matter and could not find an appropriate charge. Nothing they think could make them stick in court anyway. But I'm told the case is still under investigation and things could always change. From the newsroom, Denise Roche, News 3.
Denise, thank you. Local unemployment numbers out today, and some say they point to better days ahead. Nevada's jobless rate for the month of April fell below 12% for the first time in nearly 3 years. That figure down from a peak of 14% reached in October of 2010. In Las Vegas, the unemployment rate fell to 11.6% in April, down from 12% in March. The industry that continues to take the biggest hit, construction. While the drop is good for Nevada, keep this in mind. The number of people out of work here is still higher than the national average. The jobless rate nationwide sits at 8.1%.
The third straw tunnel project at Lake Mead runs into a snag. Excavation of a half-mile connector tunnel has been slowed by unexpected amounts of water that's been seeping into that work site. This happening some 480 feet below the Earth's surface. The problem will likely tack on $5 million extra dollars to the $700 million project. It's not expected to delay the third straw project as a whole, which is already running about 20 months behind schedule. That's expensive. Many hope the third straw will be the lifeline that sends water from the lake to Las Vegas and surrounding areas. And world leaders come together for the G8 summit, the meeting in Maryland, but much of the talk expected to be on drama overseas.
I'm Kevin Janison of the News 3 Weather Center. The windbag of a system has grown some legs, and as a result, the winds continue to blow. We'll tell you how long they're going to stick around, plus busy weekend, so we'll have all the forecast details coming up.
Come to the Las Vegas Reptile Expo this Saturday and Sunday at the Santa Fe Station Hotel and Casino. Discover and purchase unique reptiles from across the globe. Tickets at the door or online at getreptiles.com.
Coming up, just minutes away, you could win $100 of free gas just by watching News 3. Win free gas. Go to mynews3.com to find out how.
At Jack Bernstein and Associates, we listen and we care. For more than 26 years, I've been helping victims of car accidents. If you've been in a car accident or any type of motor vehicle accident, call me now for a free consultation. My law partner or I will personally answer your call to discuss your case. Customer service is important to us. We make house calls. Jack Bernstein and Associates, protecting your rights.
Memorial Day means the start of big savings during Walker's greatest sale ever. Save up to 80% in every department.
What an opportunity.
This two-piece microfiber sectional is doorbuster priced at just $4.76. You save 75%.
That's amazing.
Plus, pay no interest for 3 full years. This is it, the start of Walker's Memorial Day sale. Las Vegas's #1 furniture store.
Furniture, it's all we do.
President Obama's agenda promised so much.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan.
Promise broken. Millions could lose their health care coverage and could be forced into a government pool.
We can't mortgage our children's future on a mountain of debt.
Promise broken. Under Obama, the federal debt has exploded by more than $5 trillion. Tell President Obama to cut the debt and support the New Majority Agenda at newmajorityagenda.org.
I'm attorney Jason Cassidy. Do you need to short sell your home? When you list your home with one of our agents, our law firm will handle all negotiating with your lender at no cost to you. Call Cassidy Law Offices today at 260-0905.
Closed captioning in Spanish, sponsored by attorney Adam Kuttner. Injured? Call the law offices of Adam S. Kuttner for a free consultation. 382-0000.
Welcome back. President Obama hosting the largest gathering of world leaders ever held at Camp David this weekend at the summit of the group of 8 industrial nations. On the agenda, Greece and Europe's financial crisis, Iran's nuclear threat, and the war in Afghanistan. NBC's Jennifer Johnson following the story from Washington.
The G8 world leaders arrived Friday and headed to Camp David for a summit to address Europe's worsening economic crisis, worries over Greece, and instability in Syria, Afghanistan, and Iran. Before the summit, President Obama sat down with France's new leader, François Hollande, as Greece teeters toward a possible Eurozone exit that could rock the world's richest nations.
We're looking forward to a fruitful discussion with the other G8 leaders about how we can manage a responsible approach to fiscal consolidation that is coupled with a strong growth agenda.
Global analysts say it's a critical time for the leaders as financial markets worldwide continue to suffer losses.
It's really crunch time. The situation in Greece is rapidly deteriorating, and this has huge implications for the global economy and more specifically the American economy.
President Hollande felt it was important to visit the United States in his first overseas trip and look for answers to Greece's economic collapse.
Our economies depend on one another. What happens in Europe has an impact on the U.S. and vice versa.
The heads of state are meeting near the quaint Maryland town of Thurmont in what will be the largest gathering of world leaders ever at Camp David. The meeting comes just before the NATO summit that starts Sunday in Chicago, focusing on Afghanistan. Already anti-globalization activists and Occupy Wall Street protesters have taken to the streets, expressing their displeasure at the world's most powerful leaders. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
A look now at what we're working on for you. Coming up at 4:30, the Clark County School District laying off hundreds of teachers, and we are learning more about who will be the first to receive pink slips.
First of all, never co-sign a loan for your sibling. If you're going to make a loan, make sure that it's registered, make sure that it's on the books.
What do you do when a sibling goes belly up? Some tips on how to help them out without breaking the bank. And you know you probably need some time off. However, studies show most of us are taking less time off. How Americans compare to other nations When it comes to vacation, that's coming up at 4:30. Well, it may be the hottest item in town. Sunday afternoon's annular eclipse of the sun has caused a run on glasses specially designed to view the rare astronomical event. The College of Southern Nevada Planetarium has sold out of its supply. Planetarium officials tell us it is unclear whether more will arrive in time for Sunday's big viewing event on the North Las Vegas campus. The special viewing glasses are almost opaque, and astronomy buffs say don't even think about substituting a pair of regular sunglasses for them.
You've got sunglasses and you can see anything else through them. If you can see somebody out there on a bright day, then it's not safe to use to look at the sun. The only thing that's safe to look at the sun is something, the sun is the only thing you can see through them.
And if you missed Sunday's annular eclipse of the sun, don't worry. A spectacular total eclipse of the sun occurs in 2017, but you have to drive up to Idaho and hope it is not cloudy to fully experience it.
So my question for Kevin Janison, if you can't wear one of these and you can't find them, what else can you wear, Kevin?
The only thing we're aware of would be welder's number 14 shields. And if you can find glass at those places who sell those for construction folks, those who do the welding, that would be the only other thing. Otherwise, you want to make that little pinhole projector, a little piece of paper, put a hole in the middle of it, and then you let the sun shine through it, and the shadow will look like a crescent. It's pretty cool, too. We're excited. We've been talking about this thing for months, and now here we go. The blue line is dead center. The way it's going to look right along that blue line, well north of the Las Vegas Valley, is going to be very impressive with the moon directly in the middle of the sun, giving us that ring of fire. 98% of the sun will be blocked by the moon. That's if you go north at 6:33 Sunday evening. Here in Las Vegas, 96% of the sun will be blocked by the moon. It'll be a little off-center. Still a phenomenal show, but the maximum eclipse experience will be a couple of hours north or northeast of the Las Vegas Valley. Don't miss it, because the next one in Southern Nevada, it's 100 years in Lincoln County, 200 years in Clark County. I know the hotels are taking reservations, but I'm not sure I'll be able to make it. 89 degrees right now. The breeze still blowing. It's out of the northwest, gusting to 24. Not much humidity at all. Winds have been the factor again. Very stubborn disturbance kicking off these winds. They will die down later tonight, and our weekend at all of our Water Smart weather stations should be much less windy. 89 to 71 for the high and low, pretty close to normal, and air quality is good. Here's what's going on. See the little growth of the system right here? It's sort of amplified, and that's what kept the winds coming straight down out of the north. Now the system finally shoving off to the east, and as it does that, the winds will continue to relax tonight. Tomorrow and Sunday should be clear because there's nothing going on in the Pacific, and lots of sunshine without a lot of wind. Overnight lows tonight, mountains going down to 42, 72 at the lake. High temperatures tomorrow, 90s in Pahrump and Boulder City, 95 in Mesquite. In town, 67, breezes this evening, less wind late. Tomorrow look for a high of 92 on your Saturday, definitely not as windy, although there'll be a few northerly light breezes. 97 on Eclipse Day. Don't forget all the Eldorado activities. We'll be out there live at 5 and 6. Another round of breezes Monday into Tuesday. Another round going into Memorial Day with highs in the 80s. How about that? That's the 7-day forecast. Marie and Reed are back right after this.
I make cars run great. Mako makes them look great.
A decent paint job costs too much.
Not so. Mako does amazing work. Now look good for less.
Mako's most popular paint service is now half price, now only $249. Don't miss our half price paint sale.
When you're smiling. Are you missing your smile? Maybe you've lost a tooth, have dentures, or failing teeth. Now you can join the thousands of people who are smiling again thanks to Clear Choice Dental Implants, America's #1 choice.
It just feels so good to look at myself in the mirror in the morning and smile.
Enjoy all the foods you love without the pain and worry, because Clear Choice Dental Implants are just like having natural, permanent, perfect teeth. And with all our doctors and cutting-edge technology under one roof, only Clear Choice Dental Centers can give you your new teeth in a single day.
Having the ability to get it all done in one visit, that's what sold it for me.
Call right now to receive a complimentary consultation with one of our friendly doctors. Plus, get a free 3D CAT scan. Don't wait to regain your confidence. Call now and get your new smile in a single day. The whole world smiles with you.
Upside-down homeowners are usually thinking about what they're losing when they short sell their homes. What they should be thinking about is what they could be saving. Studies have found that it may take as long as 20 years for some of the hardest hit real estate markets in this country to recover to their peak values. Las Vegas is one of those hardest hit markets. Upside-down homeowners should not be waiting 20 years to start saving. At the Schwartz Law Firm, we'll make sure your home is listed, sold, approved by the bank, deficiencies are waived, and credit repaired. Call today for a free consultation.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Guy Fieri, and a lot of you know that Las Vegas is like a second home to me. Every day, hundreds of men and women and children are hungry. The Las Vegas Rescue Mission serves nearly 30,000 meals a month. Now it's your turn to take 60 seconds and take a minute to give it.
To accept Guy's challenge, go to vegasrescue.org, click on Donate, and make a generous donation today.
Your donation will change a life forever.
Boyd Gaming salutes Las Vegas Rescue Mission, helping keep Nevada proud.
Win free gas during News 3 at 4, 4:30, 5, 6, and 11. Now is the time for you to start dialing for your chance to win. Call 933-7410. The third caller wins. Good luck and thanks for watching.
From the producers of Dr. Phil comes the dream team of medicine.
I can't believe there's never been a show like this before.
The Doctors.
Afternoons at 2 on News 3.
Something we know, those of us with gray hair already, that if you get a traffic ticket, it's going to affect your insurance rates.
But you're probably wondering, by how much?
Yeah.
Well, wonder no more. Your rate will jump about 22% for a reckless driving violation. Insurance.com analyzed nearly 500,000 insurance quotes for 14 common traffic tickets. Insurance-wise, reckless driving is the most expensive violation, followed by a first offense DUI. That will increase your rate by about 19%. The website also has an uh-oh calculator so you can figure out your rate increase for yourself. Saturday Night Live bringing in some major star power.
All right, details about this weekend's big show that's sure to have the moves. Not even like Jagger, but like Jagger himself, Jagger. Seriously, swagger like Jagger. Coming up.
Oh, Mr. Wiggles needs some air. Oh.
Air on. Time to clean your air ducts?
Mr. Wiggles!
Call 1-800-STEAMER.
Oh, ew.
Let the professionals at Stanley Steamer effectively remove harmful dust, dirt, and allergens from your air ducts for a healthy, more efficient, and clean home.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
What if healthy food was accessible everywhere in our community? What if everyone in our community had easy access to safe and affordable places to be active? What if all work sites supported healthy lifestyles and made it easy to make healthy choices? Imagine a world where healthy choices are everywhere. Together, we can make it happen. Visit changeourcommunityclarkcounty.org to learn more.
President Obama's agenda promised so much.
We must help the millions of homeowners who are facing foreclosure.
Promise broken. 1 in 5 mortgages are still underwater.
If you are a family making less than $250,000 a year, you will not see your taxes go up.
Broken. Obamacare raises 18 different taxes.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan.
Broken. Millions could lose their health care coverage and could be forced into a government pool.
Today, I'm pledging to cut the deficit we inherited by half by the end of my first term in office.
Broken, because he hasn't even come close. We need solutions, not just promises. Tell President Obama to cut the deficit and support the New Majority Agenda at newmajorityagenda.org.
We got the best sliced bread sandwich in creation. Make Portishead your destination.
Since 1972, we've been making the best sliced fresh sandwiches right before your eyes. Make Portishead your destination for the turkey avocado sandwich. It's tender butterball turkey, tasty avocado, and fresh sliced veggies coming together as a delicious favorite. The turkey avocado sandwich, you gotta try it.
A feel of a meal that's an inspiration to make Portishead your destination.
Well, this weekend, Saturday Night Live is full of satisfaction.
Because we're talking about the special guest host, Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones. You know, he has been on SNL many times through the decades, usually as the musical guest, also making this cameo appearance in a sketch with Jimmy Fallon playing Jagger with Jagger. And although he's been asked many times, this is the first that he's agreed to host SNL. He'll be pulling double duty as host and musical guest.
And teaching us the secrets to longevity. Right?
Yeah, because he has been around. Okay, still ahead at 4:30, more on that Boulder City plane crash.
What we're learning about who was on board, and we do know quite a bit by this time, and where the investigation goes from here. Also ahead, the story of an airman's best friend, and in this case, his eyes as well.
And taking the path on a boat, we'll ride out to Lake Mead to meet some of the newest Americans. News 3 at 4:30 starts in 30 seconds.
If you've been in a car accident, here are a few tips. Don't give a statement to an insurance company, and don't sign your rights away without calling an attorney first.
Yes.
When were you and your husband divorced?
We were recently divorced on September 22nd.
Of 2010?
Mm-hmm.
When did Mr. Steele move into the house?
He had moved in December of 2009.
Your husband was out of the house at the time?
Yes.
When did he move out of the house?
October 2010.
The month after you were divorced?
Yes.
And who was awarded the business in the divorce?